Hey man, I don't know. Maybe Washington just wants a big three of Ben Simmons, Kyle Kuzma, and Jordan Poole. I cannot say that with a straight face. By the end of this 2024-2025 NBA season, will we see the end of Ben Simmons' NBA career? The former first overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft, who has made 3 All-Star appearances, 2 first-team All-Defense, made an All-NBA third team, and was Rookie of the Year in the 2017-2018 season, has been the utter laughingstock of the NBA for the past several years. And the sad truth is, it seems like the joke has lost its novelty, and people are just done with Simmons. I mean, in the October 14th preseason game against the Wizards, Ben was doing solid. Simmons scored 11 points in 13 minutes, and early on was looking to score, to control the offense, and demand lobs when he saw he could finish. And people were clowning on him. And obviously, it's just a preseason game, and it was against the Wizards of all teams, but there was almost no real media coverage on Simmons. The NBA media has a lot better things to do now than follow Ben's workout routines each offseason. It's a fast-paced and vicious cycle, and they don't have time to track the resurgence of Ben's career. He can finally start shooting threes like everyone's been begging him to, including the late great Kobe Bryant. He can bring his scoring up to 20 points a game, with 8 assists and 8 rebounds, and no one's going to really care. But I would care if you click that subscribe button down below. Well, let's get back to the video. In fact, do Nets fans really want Ben to have a resurgence now? I'm a die-hard Nets fan, and I'm excited over the fact that in the stacked 2025 NBA draft, we've got 3 to 4 first-round picks. We really don't need to be winning games right now, and an all-NBA caliber Simmons sounds antithetical to that. Simmons' resurgence would have been nice if this was the 2022 Nets led by KD and Kyrie. It would have been great if this was the Mikal Bridges variation of the Nets in 2023, but it's 2024. Nets fans should be excited to finally go to the Barclays Center during draft night and hope to hear names like Cooper Flagg and Ace Bailey called so they can wear the black and white. Why build around a 29-year-old potential bust when you could build around the first genuine top-tier prospect to be with the franchise for the next decade? But that all said, I do think Ben Simmons' development can be fun to witness if he's open to a few things. First, we have media day reports that Simmons' intention is to continue playing in the NBA, and he's willing to play for whatever role he can get. And even if that's all lip service, it's at least the right kind of lip service to sell. Ben has to know that he may never see another max contract fall his way. However, given how well Simmons bounces back, I can be okay with him getting a $40 million contract over the next 3 years. Because that's the thing about Ben Simmons. He isn't worth a max contract, and he may never reach that peak performance he once had pre-2021, but he's still a pretty talented player. During the 2023 to 2024 NBA season, Simmons unfortunately only played 15 games with the Nets and averaged 6 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds, with a steal and a block per game. Definitely not worth the massive price tag the Nets were paying, but the Nets were winning games and was looking like a competent playoff team with Ben as the lead playmaker. And after Ben went down, it was clear that the Nets were going to miss the play-in. Honestly, if Ben Simmons can just maintain the right mentality offensively, keep up his defensive production, and stay healthy, we could have at least seen some semblance of a competent role player. I don't think we will ever see the full potential of Simmons, but that really isn't needed right now. That being said, Simmons will always be a flawed player if he doesn't improve in one key area: free throw shooting. Now, a lot of people look at Simmons' inability to shoot threes as his biggest weakness. However, there are plenty of great non-shooting players that excel in interior scoring, rebounding, playmaking, and defense. Draymond Green and Russell Westbrook being the best examples. That being said, Simmons' 58% free throw shooting is god-awful. I know a lot of people look at Simmons being scared to dunk on Trae Young as why the 76ers lost their 2021 series against the Atlanta Hawks. However, it's clear Simmons' biggest issue that series, and the main reasons the 76ers lost, were because the Atlanta Hawks were looking to foul Ben at any second they could. knowing Ben couldn't cash in at the charity stripe. Now, Ben doesn't need to become a Steve Nash or Steph Curry quality free throw shooter, but if he could even bring his free throw percentage up to 70 to 75% and take at least 5 free throws a game, he could really improve his quality as a lead ball handler. I am curious to know if Simmons was to stay in the NBA, which teams would best enjoy his services. There are 5 teams I think Simmons could re-sign with that could genuinely use his talents. The first would obviously be to stay in Brooklyn, albeit for a much cheaper contract. Second, I could see him going to Chicago since they seem to have some interest in non-shooters. Third would be the Wizards. This would definitely be interesting since the preseason has shown that without Malcolm Brogdon, the Wizards have awful playmaking. Fourth, the Clippers always seem desperate for some quote-unquote superstar talent. And lastly, it would be the Phoenix Suns, which I personally think would be the most interesting to see if Ben is willing to sign for a minimum contract. I mean, Matt Ishbia has already sent the Suns into hell, which ironically is colder than Phoenix, Arizona. But Ben wouldn't have to worry about scoring when D-Book, KD, and Beal are your scoring options. Meanwhile, the Suns are desperate for more defense, rebounding, and playmaking. Even in close games, to avoid forcing Ben to take too many free throws, D-Book and Tyus Jones can take over as the primary ball handler. That being said, it may still be all too late for Ben Simmons. For Simmons to etch out a career for himself, he would need to regain his mental fortitude, find his drive to score, maintain his defense, playmaking, and rebounding skills, improve on some variation of his jumper, whether from behind the arc or the free throw line, stay healthy, and be willing to take a smaller role for a discount price. And that's a tall order to ask of anyone, let alone Simmons. So it's easier to say that this might be the end for his career. Again, this has been Above the Net. I hope you all enjoy.